You're not exhausted because your body is weak. You're exhausted because your mind is overloaded. You wake up already feeling behind. You chase progress, but feel stuck. You scroll for relief, but feel worse. You lie down to rest, yet your brain refuses to switch off. We call it burnout. But what does psychology say? Psychology says exhaustion is often not physical. It's cognitive and emotional. It happens when your actions, identity, and values are out of alignment. When you live in contradiction, your brain stays in quiet stress mode. Centuries ago, a warrior understood this without using psychological terms. Miyamoto Musashi. He fought over 60 duels. He trained daily. He lived in isolation. He faced death repeatedly. Yet, he didn't collapse under pressure. Why? Because his life was aligned. Chapter 1. The real moment you lost energy. There was a time when effort felt exciting. Psychology calls this intrinsic motivation, doing something because it feels meaningful to you. But somewhere along the way, many people shift into extrinsic motivation, chasing approval, status, comparison. And what does psychology say about that? Research shows external validation increases anxiety and decreases long-term satisfaction. When your brain constantly scans for how others perceive you, it burns energy. Musashi fought his first duel at 13. After winning, he didn't celebrate publicly. He reflected privately. He wasn't fighting to impress. He was studying himself. Psychology calls this an internal locus of control, focusing on growth instead of applause. People with a strong internal focus experience less emotional exhaustion. You feel drained when you perform for the world. You feel energized when you act from within. Chapter 2. Mental overload. Musashi carried almost nothing. Few possessions, few distractions. What does psychology say? The brain has limited cognitive capacity. This is called cognitive load theory. Every unfinished task, notification, social comparison, and worry consumes mental resources. Too many open loops create decision fatigue. Decision fatigue leads to stress. Stress leads to exhaustion. You're not weak, you're overloaded. When you constantly switch between apps, conversations, and goals, your brain pays a switching cost each time. That cost drains attention and energy. Simplifying your environment isn't minimalism for style, it's neurological efficiency. Less noise, more focus, more energy. Chapter 3. Motivation is unreliable. Many people wait to feel ready. But what does psychology say about motivation? Motivation is emotion dependent. It fluctuates based on mood, sleep, stress, and environment. Discipline, however, is identity-based. When behavior becomes habit, it shifts from effortful thinking to automatic processing. That reduces mental strain. Musashi repeated movements until they required no internal debate. He didn't wake up asking, "Do I feel like training?" Training was who he was. When effort becomes identity, resistance decreases. Less resistance means less internal conflict. Less internal conflict means less exhaustion. Chapter 4. Attachment to results. One of Musashi's most famous duels ended in seconds. He won and walked away quietly. What does psychology say about attachment? When your happiness depends on outcomes, your nervous system remains tense. This is called outcome dependency. You attach your self-worth to results. Win, temporary relief. Lose, emotional crash. Both states drain energy. But when you focus on mastery instead of validation, you enter a flow state. In flow, attention narrows. Self-consciousness fades. Energy expands instead of shrinking. Detachment isn't about not caring. It's about not tying your identity to the scoreboard. Chapter 5. The mind that never stops. Musashi balanced combat with art and meditation. What does psychology say about constant stimulation? Your nervous system has two major modes: sympathetic, fight or flight, and parasympathetic, rest and restore. Modern life traps people in mild fight or flight all day. Even during rest, you scroll. Even during meals, you multitask. That keeps stress hormones elevated. Chronic stress equals chronic fatigue. Mindfulness reduces stress, improves attention regulation, and increases emotional stability. Stillness is not laziness. It is nervous system recovery. Chapter 6. the true source of energy. In his later years, Musashi wrote about clarity. What does psychology say about clarity? It uses the term self-congruence, when your behavior aligns with your beliefs and identity. When you say yes to things you don't believe in, your brain experiences cognitive dissonance. That tension consumes mental energy. Internal conflict is exhausting. Alignment is efficient. Modern culture offers stimulation as energy. Caffeine, entertainment, quick dopamine hits. But dopamine spikes without meaning create crashes afterward. Purpose creates sustainable drive. Validation creates temporary highs. You are not tired because life is too heavy. You are tired because your energy is divided. Psychology confirms it. History demonstrates it. Musashi embodied it. Simplify your commitments. Build identity-based habits. Detach from constant validation. Create moments of stillness. Align your daily actions with your deeper values. You don't need endless motivation. You need coherence. When your mind, actions, and beliefs move in the same direction, energy stops leaking. You were never weak. You were misaligned. Find your path. Walk it deliberately, and watch your energy return.